Hello and welcome back to the NRLW Weekly Podcast, thanks to Lite and Easy, fueling Australian sport. I'm Marlee Silva. I am your sideline eye all through the NRLW with 9, and I am joined, as always, by the one, the only, legend of the women's game, Sky Blues assistant coach, Ruan Sims. Ru, lovely to see you.
Hey, Marlee, we're back again.
We sure
They let us
are.
back.
I know, they keep letting us do that. On the show today, we recap the huge round 4 of the NRLW we just saw. Ru gives her top 2. We hear from Cronulla Sharks halfback Tayla Preston, and we give our tips for the upcoming round 5. I think I've said this already, but this season is going way too fast, Ru. But let's get stuck into things. What is your, or who is your, I should say, Light and Easy hungriest player and team of the week?
Oh, yeah. So my Light and Easy hungriest player and team of the week are combined this week. And hungriest player, Kira Dibb, with that clutch field goal.
Yep.
And therefore, you pretty much know my team of the week is the Cowboys.
Beautiful.
I think it's very safe to say that anybody outside of the 4 walls of the Cowboys thought the Titans were going to win that game.
Yep.
So for them to come away with that 1-point victory, that was epic.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the Cowboys. And I thought Kira Dibb executed their game plan beautifully. And obviously she came up with the winning field goal.
Absolutely. That was I was there on the sideline.
Yes.
Sweating quite happily
So
in council
jealous.
in that heat. But I think, it was really, really good. Rick Henry had said during the week that he was impressed with how the girls were playing. They just hadn't played a complete game, and right in the death, that's what they did. We love it. Alrighty, it is now time for this one.
This is the top 2 with Ru. What's fueling Ru this week?
What's fueling Roo this week? Well, I'm feeling very fueled by watching Stacey Walker run around every weekend. She was incredible on the weekend. Her athleticism in the air, she's an incredible target for that aerial game. And Ali Brigginshaw had the ball on a string straight to her. So Stacey Walker dominating is my first of 2.
She only needed 1 game to warm up.
I know. But even the warm-up game, she still created havoc.
Exactly.
So really exciting to see her excelling in rugby league. And then I'm going to stay with that Sevens theme. Number 2, top 2 with Ru, is the Sharks signing Dominique Dutoit.
Yes.
Very, very exciting. She is an impressive athlete. She has an incredible resume in Sevens. And from personal experience, she has slotted in seamlessly to training already. She's had a training session with the Sharks, and I think it's very exciting to see players of the caliber of Shani Smale, Dominique Dutoit. Tyler King has been a part of the NRLW for a couple of seasons now. Stacey Walker, Willison as well from the Knights. I thought she looked super athletic on that wing. So, to see athletes of that caliber coming into the NRLW, is pretty exciting, and that rounds out my top 2 with Ru.
And I think that when we spoke about the kind of code converts a couple of weeks ago, when we knew that Tyler was coming back from Paris and going straight into it, and Stacey as well, and then all of this sort of stuff, it's sort of what everyone predicted, right? They bring this extra element because they're incredible athletes of their own. But do you think also, now having a couple of Sevens girls in that Cronulla system, that because they've been in those professional environments, it helps?
It lifts everyone around them.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Without a doubt it does. And I know that Tyler has done that for the Dragons. Varney has done that for the Titans. Ray McGregor feeds off what Tyler King brings as well, so down at the Dragons. So the 2 of them work really well together, the senior players. Tanika Willison going into the Knights just adds to their already incredible professionalism, that outfit there. Stacey going into the Broncos outfit. Yeah, all of them, every single one of them. And like Emma Tonagato is an ex-Olympian as well. So but I will claim Emma was with rugby league first.
Yes.
And then she came back. So we can probably claim her loosely.
Yeah.
But I think all it does is add another layer of professionalism. And I think that's incredible. It's exciting because it brings everyone else up around you. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow as a game, and we're doing that very well.
Are we going to see Dom Dutoit on the field this week?
Oh, she's been named on the extended bench.
So
but there's no injuries in the outside backs.
Yeah.
But she's in there and she's enjoying it. So we'll see how she goes.
Thank you, Ru. You're listening to the NRLW Weekly Podcast, thanks to Light and Easy, fueling Australian sport. And this week on the NRLW Weekly Podcast, we are so excited to say that we are joined by Cronulla Sharks halfback, superstar, legend, human being, I can say from personal experience, Tayla Preston. Tay, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
We are great. We are great. We are pumped up. I have to say, I know that I'm in a little bit of biased company between you and Ruan, but as a little bit of an objective outsider, I'm very excited by the way that your girls at the Sharks are performing this year. It looks like you've really found something. We're going to ask lots of questions about that, but we've been doing things a little bit differently with our guests this year, haven't we, Roo? We've been asking a few different questions that aren't that footy related.
Yeah, well, we just want to peer behind the curtain of what it is to be an NRLW player, but what makes you tick more than anything else. So we've got a few curly questions for you, Tay.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah. Alrighty. On game day, what is the song that pumps you up the most before you go out there?
That pumps me up. You know what, actually, there's a funny one that's at the moment we've been all playing it. It's pumping us all up at the moment. It's called Bass Down Low. Okay. It's a bit of like a hard style type of song, but it's a bit funny. But we all actually get really pumped up and we all kind of dance around in the sheds before the game to it. So I have to say that one's actually probably my go-to. I get really hyped up for it.
If it's hard style, are you gabbering in the sheds before you get out there?
I sadly have to say yes, that's what we're trying to do. But it's quite funny. We can't do it. We actually are no good at it, but we try.
It's about effort, E for effort.
Exactly right.
Well, since we're talking about that game day prep, do you have anything in particular that you do every time before you take the field?
Yeah, I'd say like obviously like pre-game, I obviously fake tan. I feel like everyone knows I like my fake tan. So I have to always fake tan before a game. But on game day, I feel like pretty much just go through my thing, go through my structure. And I'm pretty actually cruisy on game day. I feel like, I just like to talk to everyone and play a bit of music and stuff. But yeah, I guess just my prehab stuff and things like that and pass the footy around with someone. Whoever's there, kind of just grab them to pass the footy and get a few passes out of the way. And I'm pretty, other than that, I guess that's probably all I do really.
As a loyal fake tanner, I mean, first of all, that's good. We like that. It's sun safe instead of, going out there and really frying your skin.
Got a bit of sunscreen in there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good as well. So are there any sort of photos or games or just moments you've looked back on and gone, oh, a little bit orange today?
Yes, there was definitely one last year. I honestly think I was fluorescent orange and glowing in the sun. And I was so embarrassed and I thought, oh, definitely got that one wrong. Too many layers. And I think there was one maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a photo and my hands were bright orange. And I was like, oh my God, they look like Cheetos.
Like you'd had your hands in a bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, it honestly looked like that. So I was quite embarrassed. But like I say, the tanner I am, the faster I run, I keep telling myself. So I'm just going to keep rolling with it, whether I'm orange or not.
Yeah. Well, if you look good, you feel good, you play well, right?
Exactly right. Look good, feel good.
Absolutely. So do you have a fake tan sponsor yet?
No, I do not. So if anyone's listening,
this could be an opportunity for you.
It could be. I spend so much money on it. So
maybe also just get some tan remover so that you don't put too many layers on. Like make sure you remove that layer before you put the new one on.
Exactly right. I probably don't scrub it off good enough.
Look, now we've had Loz Brown asking for a cheesecake sponsorship and you, Taylor, asking for fake tan. I love it. I want the girls to be pitching themselves.
Absolutely.
I think we've embarrassed you enough, or just about. The last question that I had, I always am quite interested in whether you had a sporting hero growing up or someone that you wanted to be like as you came into the NRLW.
Yeah, I feel like in the female space, I actually have to say Rue definitely was one of the people I looked up to. And I just think as like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl, kind of coming into the space and things like that, just to see how Rue kind of goes about her things and so much of what she's done for the game. I think I know Rui, I definitely look up to you, and I know I probably haven't told you that
no,
ever.
This is news.
Yeah, and I think I was actually saying to Elle just the other day how I've still got a photo on my old phone of when we played Cronulla Canberra. And I think I had a shocker of a game, and at halftime you spoke to me, and there's a cute little photo of you with your arm around me, and I still look at that like you just were so nice, and just someone I could look up to, and just so reassuring and things like that. So definitely I feel like, Rui, you were definitely someone I looked towards, and I'm so grateful for everything you did for the game, and we definitely wouldn't be here without you. So I'm definitely forever grateful for you for that one, because you continue to do so much for the game too. So it's awesome to see, and I hope the younger girls coming through can also see that too.
That is for sure.
Oh my God, you hit me right in the feels, Tay. That was so unexpected.
Sorry,
my fake tan's going to start running, and it's like cutting onions in here.
At least yours is an orange.
Yeah. But now, Tay, listen, while we're on the personal stuff, we had a little bit of a giggle yesterday because you seem to just cop a lot of the jokes and a lot of the butt of many jokes at training and at footy. What's doing? Why are you the target?
I know. I think I've got a big bullseye on my forehead here, or easy target written on me. I don't know. I always say that, and they always say I can't hack it, but I feel like it's because I can always take it, and then I always give it back to them. I feel like I'm someone that always gives it back.
You got good banter. I'll give you that. You've got good banter.
Thank you. I feel like I just don't take too much seriously, so I can always just have a laugh. Yeah. I think too, I just always laugh at myself too, so that's probably why. I probably started. I'm probably the main reason why I get picked on myself. But no, it's good fun. I'm like, you know what? If everyone can laugh in the team and it has to be me, then that's fine. I'll take one for the team.
And are you the biggest pest, or do you reckon there's someone else who's the bigger pest?
Oh, I think Holly Wheeler is definitely up there as biggest pest. I think I cop it, but she has to be the biggest pest as well. She's always yapping away and always up to something. So good old Holly Wheeler. She's definitely up there, I'd say.
Who's the quietest?
Who's the quietest?
Yeah. Who do you have to really draw something out of?
That's a good. I think Manalita.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty quiet, but I feel like when you talk to her a bit and she opens up. Yeah. So I think, Manalita for sure. I think she's a little quiet one, but I'm like, she's definitely got some banter there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tay, to get more into the footy side of things now, I think for myself, having been someone who grew up in Cronulla and saw you around and saw you in Oztag teams and more non-contact versions of the sport as we were growing up, for me, it just felt like all of a sudden you were playing Harvey Norman and then you're in the NRLW. And I know that process doesn't happen as quickly as it looks. And I want to understand, what's that footy journey been like for you, and at what point were you able to get into rugby league, or did you have to stop like a lot of the girls did growing up? What was it like?
Yeah, so like you said, like I grew up playing tag and touch and pretty much every other sport under the sun that I could play. And then it wasn't until I was probably 16, 17 where a couple of my best friends' parents were kind of just running one of the local teams here. And and they thought I should just give it a go. And played my first ever rugby league game, I think when I was 16, 17 with Quincy and Tayla. And that was out at Chester Hill because we didn't have enough teams in the Shire at that time to create our own comp. So we kind of had to go out into the Western Sydney comp there. And I remember I cried my very first game and I was like, I'm not playing this. This is too hard. And I was probably just, used to playing touch and not having a tackle and things like that. And I feel like then it kind of just transitioned really quickly. And when I kept playing, I just knew that I loved footy, and I'd been around it as a young kid with my brother playing and things like that. Couldn't convince my parents to let me play at a young age. So finally got there in the end. And then, was fortunate enough to play in the first ever Tasha Gale comp for the Sharks. And then, pretty much it just progressed from there, and got to play a few exhibition games with Rui and Alana Ferguson and people like that before the NRLW started. And, had to kind of buy my way through that and play Harvey Norman. And, and then I kind of went through a few injuries and things like that, a few setbacks, but, kind of just stuck with it. And I learned a lot in the last 6 to 7 years in rugby league. And I guess my footy knowledge from where I first started to now is probably gone leaps and bounds, and I understand the game a lot more now. And, I was lucky enough to obviously get my first opportunity with Parramatta Eels in 2022 in the NRLW, and and then a bit of a full circle moment to end up back at the Sharkies where I first started. So I'm here now and I'm absolutely loving it, and it's awesome, and it's pretty cool and pretty surreal, I guess, to see. Seems like a long time, but I feel like I blink and I felt like I was 16, 17 years old not that long ago playing my first ever game. So pretty special, pretty lucky.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And next year, obviously, it's been announced already, you're going to the new franchise, the Bulldogs. That's, pretty incredible. Not many players get the opportunity to be part of a first year in two franchises. And that's pretty cool. Like, obviously, we're going to miss you terribly at the Sharks because you're a local girl. We love you. But the opportunity was just too great to turn up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, like you said, I'm definitely going to miss my Sharkies fam, and all my best friends are there, and I love turning up every single day to training, and I always have a smile on my face when I'm there, and it's a bit of like a bittersweet moment, I guess. Like, it's sad to know that I'll be leaving, but like you said, it's also pretty special that now I get to start something again for the first time as well, and I feel like we help do that at Sharks here. We've built a really good culture, and I love being a part of that culture. And I feel like, now I get the opportunity again to start something fresh again for a new club and hopefully build that culture up there and be a part of something for the first time too, and be a part of history as well, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is really exciting. I think as someone who's been a Bulldogs fan their whole life too, I'm very excited for that. Before you get there though, obviously the goal is to win a premiership this year with the Sharkies as a good farewell gift.
Yes, definitely.
I have just been so amazed, and I think I've heard a lot of my far more knowledgeable footy colleagues talk about how much your kicking game has improved over time and become a real killer kind of element of your game. For some of the young girls who might be listening who are at a similar position you were at 16, what have you been doing? Can you give us a little bit of an insight? How do you keep working on and crafting that kicking game? Because that's really tough.
Yeah, it is. I think I probably was a bit fortunate, I guess, in terms of probably had a big boot from when I played soccer, weirdly enough. I know, I guess I kind of use those skills in touch and tag and things like that. But it's kind of taken a lot of work, and I've probably had to study the game a lot more. And I know I pretty much, I call myself a footy nerd because I watch too much footy. But I think, it's just trying to stay consistent. I think that's probably one thing I learned from previous years is I need to have that consistent kicking game. And for me, I'm always down at the park trying to do the extras and things like that. I feel like you can't always kick enough footy. So it's really important for me to keep doing that and kind of, practice my ball drop and little things like that. That I probably, never really thought of back in the day. Kind of just dropped the ball and kicked it and hoped for the best. But now I've kind of got a much better thought process behind it. And been pretty lucky to have some really, I guess, important people that are backing me behind the scenes and helping me and educate me in little things and give me little tips that can help me. And I'm always practicing, and I love that, I'm lucky that our wingers in our team always want to practice. So for me, I get the extra practice in too. So, always kicking a footy and, I guess just trying to keep getting better and better each game and I guess improve my footy knowledge in where I want to kick the ball and actually have some thought process behind what I'm actually doing, I guess.
That obsession. Right?
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
love that.
Absolutely. The Sharks 2024, 4 rounds in, undefeated. Fantastic. Obviously, there's still a lot more work to do. But what do you think the difference is this year to last year? Like, I know what I think the difference is, but from a player's perspective, what's the feel or what's the difference in the feel this year as compared to 2023?
Yeah, I think like a lot of us speak about it, a lot of us girls, and we feel like our defense has been a really big difference. I think, we kind of speak about, those close games that we had last year. We probably lost or probably, just dropped our heads when things don't go our way. Whereas I feel like our team's so resilient this year and we've had a lot of adversity already. But when we're out there, I just feel like all of us as teammates, you just want to turn up for your teammate. And, you might have a scrappy tackle here and there, but it's just everyone wants to get in and help each other. And I feel like every single game where, whether we've been down or behind on the scoreboard, it never feels like that out there. And I think that's pretty special to have, where we just trust our system and know that we've got the players there to score points. And trust our systems. And yeah, we just keep turning up in our D, and yeah, it's such an awesome feeling. And I feel like that's what we were priding ourselves on, is that we keep turning up for each other. And yeah, I know out there for all of us, but yeah, we're stoked every time we turn the team away, and we keep turning them away. And it's just such a good feeling, because you know that eventually we're gonna crack the other team, hopefully, and put some points on. So I think, yeah, for me personally, I think it's our defence has really been a big improvement. And I know that the coaches behind the scenes have been working really hard with us on that one. And yeah, I guess for me personally, that's what I would think the difference has been.
Yeah, I have to say, from the sideline, my perspective, having, come out onto the field a couple of weeks ago when you won against Parramatta at Allianz, and I'm interviewing Quincy. She's got blood pouring from her nose. Unfortunately, we saw Jada Taylor come off with her ACL in that game. It would have been a brutal one. You could see how gassed you were all, but the smile on your faces and the love for each other was really clear. And that, to me, I am not an athlete, and I think you know that quite well, Taylor. And I've never had any skill, but what I love about sport, and women's sport in particular, is that sisterhood. And you, like you said, when you first started, you were playing with Quincy and Tayla in the early days. Do you feel that there is that sisterhood there within the side? And like, how much do you care for these girls?
Yeah, definitely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think like we're all best mates, and I think especially this year, like our culture is just so good. I'm probably obviously biased because I'm a part of it, but I think like we are also genuinely happy for each other. And whether you're in that 1 to 17 or we're in that squad, we see it as we've got that 1 to 28 and our development girls as well, and everyone's just as important as each other. And yeah, like just seeing when we come into training, everyone's always got a smile on their face, and it's just an awesome environment you want to be a part of. And yeah, I just think everyone's so happy to be around each other, and we're all so positive. And I feel like positivity is so infectious. And yeah, I think we all just bounce off each other. And yeah, we've really built that sisterhood. And I think that is showing in, like I said, our defense and things like that, because we just want to keep turning up for each other. And yeah, it's just such an awesome thing to be a part of. And yeah, I absolutely love turning up to training every single day. I actually get really excited to see my friends. And yeah, I think everyone, is just stoked to be a part of it. And yeah, I think that's showing now in our results is we're also happy. And I think, like you said, after the games, yeah, it's the smiles on our faces, you can't wipe it. And obviously, we want to win games by big margins, but at the end of the day, it's those crucial little wins that probably mean a lot more to us. And yeah, the positivity is just infectious in our team, and I absolutely love it.
Now, I heard last night you almost lost your position. Last night, I heard that someone took your position. They played pretty well. There
was a Tayla 2.0 sitting right next to your Marlee. She was doing some timid
Amazing. Can we get some video footage of that, please?
If you saw the video footage, would not be slow enough. Honestly, like, you'd have to speed it up to 1,000 times speed just to look at it at normal pace. And I reckon if I had a GPS on, it would have been the slowest speed.
Oh, I doubt that.
Oh, don't say that.
I had so much fun though. Yeah, I had so much fun. I jumped in there while Taylor was off getting a drink of water. I was like, yeah, I'll jump in.
Oh, amazing.
But honestly, you've got a couple of new recruits this year who've come from a professional space into the NRLW. Shani Smale has fitted right in. Dom Dutoy, fresh first session last night. How cool is it to have players of that caliber come into the squad?
Yeah, it's awesome. I know, like, we spoke about it with Shani. Like, she just slotted in, and we're all saying, like, we feel like we didn't even know her before. Obviously, we've seen her on TV and things like that, but we feel like we've known her for years, and I think that's pretty special to have someone of that caliber come in and know that she's been an elite athlete for, I think, 16 years, I think it was, which is like an amazing testament to herself. And, she's a newbie in the game, and just her willingness to come in and want to learn the game and understand it. And she's been so patient and just wanting to learn. And I love that. And I think, we can learn so much from her as well, and Dom as well now. Like, Dom slotted in straight away last night, and you wouldn't even know that they haven't been in the game for so many years at all. Like, I think and that's just a true testament to the characters they both are, and the elite systems they've come from. I think we can learn a lot off them and the, I guess, preparation that it takes to be an elite athlete as well. And they've both added so much to our team. And I think we're pretty fortunate enough to have them and lucky enough to have them in our team. And I get pretty excited. I know Shadi was excited, but I was like, I think I'm fangirling right now saying I'm playing with her. And it's pretty cool. And they're awesome people and awesome characters to have in our team, which has been awesome.
So exciting. And I think that, the addition of those girls who have been in full-time professional sporting roles is only going to help strengthen the game for everyone. Tayla, thank you so much for your time today. We love hearing how happy and positive everything is at the Sharks, and it's obviously paying off on the field. So good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Fingers crossed we go all the way.
Thanks, Tay. See you at training tomorrow night, 2.0.
Thank you. See you then. Yeah, 2.0. Don't take my position.
Pretty safe.
Thanks so much. Every time I talk to Tayla Preston, I leave with a smile on my face. And I think she's such a positive woman to talk to. And it was so great to hear how she's feeling playing at the moment, because I think we're seeing that out on the field.
Yeah, I love Tayla because she is the same energy consistently. She's consistent with that. And I think that's a really good thing to have. And she's always interested in new things and excited about new things. And she's very coachable and she's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
So I think that's, positives all around. But attitude goes a long way and she has that in spades.
Yeah, we love it. Alrighty, so if you listen to this show, you love it. You hear us talk about particular things. I actually had a DM from Shani Stowers, who has been an NRLW player for a few years, and she was saying, sometimes my mind is blown with the information that Ru brings to the table, because it makes her think about things in a different way. So she was giving me feedback being like, cool. Sometimes I have to Google what words that Ru uses, look for the dictionary definition, but she loves the way that you talk about things. And I said, I completely agree. But if you are loving the show and you want to ask a question, please do exactly that. Send a little, or even if it is just, I loved this particular point. We love getting that feedback and it helps us kind of shape everything.
Yeah, and if there's anything else you want to know about,
exactly,
let us know. Or if there's something that you're interested in that we haven't spoken about yet. Yeah.
We love hearing from you, because this is for you guys and it helps make our show. So with that said, we have a listener question for this week. This is a big point of discussion, has been over the last couple of weeks, because it is all about this proposed 100-metre sprint on NRLW Grand Final Day. So this has happened before, hasn't it? Where
many moons ago.
Yeah, very, very long time ago.
Many moons ago.
When all the fastest players of teams that weren't playing on Grand Final Day would race each other and it'd be this big spectacle. We know there's some very, very fast-paced NRLW players. So Maddie has sent in a message saying, with this 100-metre sprint set to be included on Grand Final Day, who would be your pick to win the NRLW race?
Well, that would depend on who's not playing in the Grand Final.
Should we answer this based on, say, everyone was eligible? Let's just pretend.
Eligible. Oh, look, that's a tough one. I think Tegan Berry's right up there. Jamie Chapman as well, because Chapo's fast over distance.
Yeah, so is 100 metres long enough?
Yeah, she's probably quicker over 200, but maybe. You just never know.
Yeah.
So I reckon they're probably the two quickest at the moment.
I feel like immediately you think Tegan Berry.
Yeah, but then also I think I'd like to see Stacey Walker in some clean air and Dom Dutoy. I'd like to see those guys in some clean air. So, it's a tough one, because the good thing, like the incredible thing about Tegan Berry, and I think we spoke about this on air on the weekend, she's footy fast. So she can actually change direction and stuff and not lose too much speed. And Tamika Upton has that ability as well, to be able to change direction with very minimal loss of speed.
That's really hard.
And that is hard to do.
Yeah.
Straight line running is a lot simpler because no one's trying to knock you over. But yeah, she has that incredible. And Chapo's very similar too, like glides through it beautifully. So yeah, it'd be a tough fought one, but I reckon those two would be close to the top of the list.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason we called Tegan Berry Flash, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I also have a listener question too.
Oh.
That sent me a DM.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a question from Jesse Godfrey.
Okay.
And he has asked, I have a question for your show, Roo. Should squads be increased to 30 with the large injury toll this year? And I think that's a really good question because they can't do it this year. It's capped at 24 with your 4 dev players.
Yeah.
But it will increase next year because obviously there's an extra team as well coming in. And that's something that is under discussion, and I think that will increase.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's important too because, yes, the injury toll is there and it exists. Unfortunately, in contact sports, things happen, or in any sport, injuries occur. But with a team sport like this, I think 30 would be a really good starting point. So probably 26 as your contracted players and then 4 dev players. So that's your 30. And then obviously as it grows in size, then salary cap increases and all that sort of stuff. You can then add more players to that roster. And then, we will, when it becomes a full-time comp, we will see a top 30 like in the men's.
Could you explain what the rules have been around, like in the last 2 weeks we've seen 2 sevens girls come into the Cronulla side.
Yep.
Is that something that was always allowed at this time?
Yeah, so if you have injuries to players, like season-ending injuries, you are able to bring in a new player. So Sam Bremner coming into the Roosters for Corbin Baxter, who unfortunately did her ACL. Same with Jada Taylor doing her ACL. Dom Dutoit comes in, Shani Smell come in. So you are able to bring a player in, but the amount that you're able to pay that player is capped because that money comes from the NRL to cover that player. So you can't offer them a ridiculous amount of money to come and play. Like there's a finite amount that you can work with. But yes, you can bring players in. If you lose somebody for a season, you are able to bring another player in. Yeah.
That's really important. See, this is what is so great about having someone as knowledgeable as you sitting next to me, Roo. You are listening to the NRLW Weekly Podcast with Marlee Silva and Ruan Sims, thanks to Lite and Easy, fueling Australian sport. We'll be back right after this.
At Lite and Easy, we're fueling the champions. Our ready-to-eat, healthy and delicious meals are the perfect addition to a performance diet. Whether you're on the court, in the ring or on the field, we partner with professional athletes and teams to give them more time to train and play. Fuel your passion and your performance with Australia's multi-award-winning healthy meal delivery service. Lite and Easy. Eat well and play hard.
Welcome back to the NRLW Weekly Podcast with me, Marlee Silva, and you, Ruan Sims. Thanks to Lite and Easy, fueling Australian sport this weekend. Round 5.
Does that make us round 5 already?
Does that make us halfway through the season?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah.
Right?
If you include the semi-finals, yes.
Yes.
We don't include the grand final.
No.
Because that's just special on its own.
Yes. Just about halfway through the season, I think we are constantly being surprised by every game, which is fantastic. Yep. And you can watch every single NRLW game live and free on 9 and 9 now. Let's get stuck straight into this preview. I stuttered because I'm so excited.
I thought you were going to eat your microphone. Yes. You were so excited. You're like, let's go.
It all kicks off. It all kicks off on Saturday at 11 a.m. The Eels and the Knights will face each other in Western Sydney.
Yeah, this is going to be a big clash for both teams. The Knights' big loss with Jessie Southwell out. Obviously, she had a Cat 1 HIA last week. Evie Jones will come in and make her NRLW debut. And she's a good young half. She's a good young player. She played under-19s Origin as well. So she's played at a high level. But, she's on debut, so that'll be exciting. I think this is a winnable game for the Eels.
I think so too.
This is a winnable game for them. They're going to have to bring absolutely everything, though.
Yeah.
They're going to have to bring everything because the Knights will be filthy that they lost last week. So
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. They'll come out firing. So it is winnable, but every single player has to be on song. And I think the halves partnering of Cassie Toihiku and Rachel Pearson could be the difference in the end.
Correct.
So I'm tipping the Eels.
Ooh. And I think can we still call that an upset?
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah,
Back-to-back premiers.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm tipping the Eels.
That will be. I think that will be a really interesting battle and a great way to start round 5. After, we'll head down to Canberra, and kickoff will be at 12:45 for this one, with the Raiders having a home game up against the Cowboys.
Yes. So, unfortunately, injury to Mona Lisa Soliola. She's out. So, Keto Matua will start in the second row. And as great as I thought the Cowboys were last week, I think the Raiders will just be really hungry for a victory at home.
Yeah.
And at home, they have a really good record down there. And I think just the Viking clap gets them really fired up. It gets me fired up, and I'm not even a Raider. I do it every time. And so I think that this is the opportunity for the Raiders to get back on the winners circle. But the Cowboys will push them the whole way. They will push them the whole way. They won't die wondering. But I think the Raiders will just be a little bit too good in the end.
That'll be interesting. Then on Sunday, up on the Gold Coast, potentially, I reckon the round.
This is actually the game of the round for me.
Yeah, it is the Titans hosting the Roosters from midday.
Yeah,
huge.
This is actually huge, and this is huge for a number of reasons. It's huge because the Titans have lost 2 games in a row now, and the Roosters are flying pretty high. They're doing pretty well, and I think the Titans are going to be really, really hungry for this. I mean, the Roosters have just been so dominant.
Yeah.
Their middles are dominant. Their rotation off the bench has been really good. They haven't lost a lot. I mean, like the Tigers pushed them a long way at Gosford a couple of weeks ago, but they just managed to hang on and come away with the victory in the end. Not having Jess Surgis there does hurt them.
Yeah.
Isabel Kelly was outstanding
last
week. Like, she was absolutely incredible for the Roosters, back in that sort of left centre position. She's playing there again this week, but they still know Jess Surgis with that knee complaint. So I think that does actually hurt them a little bit. But even though Jamie Frezard has been great,
she has
coming out of trouble, as has Jasmine Strange. Oh, this one is really hard to pick. But I am going to go with the Roosters.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Roosters on this one. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Titans come away with the victory, because they missed out by 1 point last week.
Yeah.
And they would be just wanting, they'd be hungry.
Yeah.
They'll be hungry for it.
Yeah.
But I can't go past the Roosters.
Yeah, I
the
feel like
moment.
they look very good, don't they?
Yeah.
I think, I'm really excited to watch that match.
Yeah, and Amber Hall is starting in that 11 jersey. She's been very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good for them.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, alrighty.
I know.
After that one, we will head to Leichhardt Oval, where the Tigers will be hosting the Broncos.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game for the Tigers, because the Broncos have found their form.
Yeah.
And that's been off the back of Gail Broughton and Stacey Walker returning to the fold. It's unlocked that left edge. Gail has unlocked that left edge for the Broncos, and then it means that not all the attention is on Ali on the right edge.
Yeah.
But then Ali having Stacey Walker as that target in the air on the right is fantastic.
Next level.
And Chelsea Lenarduzzi was really strong last week for the Broncos. So she's, been really good starting through the middle.
Yeah.
And I think the Tigers have been very, very brave, and defensively they've been good. Their attack hasn't flowed as much, and I know that they were working on that last week, and there were points where it did, and they pushed the Eels all the way last week. They pushed the Eels the whole way.
They sure did.
And I just wonder how much that took out of the tank for them, though. And whereas the Broncos, they were pushed hard, I just think they'll have a bit more in the tank this week. So I'm tipping the Bronx.
The way that, as you said, the Broncos have found their form, and you just are reminded how much experience they have across the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Julia Robinson.
I know.
Are you sweet?
How good is she?
Oh, my goodness.
So then Julia scores to Stacey.
I know.
It's just, they've got some strike.
It's a tough
strike.
Battle for the Tigers, but hey, as we've seen through this season already, anything can happen.
Upsets can happen. Absolutely. I just think that the Broncos are hitting their straps.
Yes.
So
our final game of the round will be at 6:10 p.m.
night game.
Down in Wynn Stadium, Wollongong. Dragons hosting the Sharks.
Yes, this is the battle, like the local derby.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And then the men's game will be before it.
Yes.
So I think there'll be a big crowd. It's always a very fiery, passionate crowd for this local derby. So that makes for a great atmosphere for what's going to be an interesting battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be a really good one. I mean, I've seen some really great things out of the Dragons pack. Like, they've been working really, really hard. Ray McGregor's head knock last week was concerning.
Yes.
She's been named this week, so obviously it wasn't a cat one.
Yeah.
but hopefully she's okay because they really do need her
Yes.
in there for her and Tyler King to work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, if she is ruled out for whatever reason, Casey Ray
Yeah.
going into that half position, I think is a really cool step forward because she's going to be a future 7 in that position for the club.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. But I'm tipping the Sharks. I just think across the board they have strike. They've got physicality. Rhiannon Byers is returning from her head injury as well. And if Tale Holmes is no good, then Vanessa Foliaki will start on that other edge. And yeah, I just think that the Sharks at the moment they're looking fresh. They've got they've got some good attack, and they're grinding wins out. So
They
I
look
think
calm under pressure.
yeah, and I think they'll be able just to grind the Dragons out of this game.
It'll be a good one. Look, we're in for another great round of
Can't
NRLW
wait.
footy, so make sure you're tuning into all 5 of those games that are live and free on 9 and 9 now. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We love talking to you guys about the incredible game that is NRLW. So send through your questions, share this episode
If you
with
have
a mate.
anyone that you'd like us to get on as a guest,
Let us know that.
let us know.
Yeah, because I mean, we love so many of the girls. It's
know,
hard
it's
to
hard to
narrow it
pick.
down. So if you're going, yep, this is who we want, that actually helps us so
Yeah.
much because they're all fantastic. We will catch you next week. But for now, thank you for listening to the NRLW Weekly Podcast with Marlee Silva and Ruan Sims. Thanks to Lite and Easy, fueling Australian sport.